master the business of speaking with your hosts, Taylor and Austin. You're listening to Technically Speaking.
Welcome to another episode of Technically Speaking. I am so excited that you decided to chime in to today's episode where we're talking with Association Insider and Certified Professional Speaker Ed Rigsbee. Ed is a certified association executive and is known as the ROI Guy for associations. Ed is also the president and executive director of the Cigar Peg, an IRS-recognized 501c3 nonprofit public charity, and since 1999 has donated over $700,000. With an inside scoop on what associations need and what they're looking for in their speakers, Ed shares his insights on what speakers need to know about getting booked from associations. If you're a speaker ready to maximize the association world, this is the episode for you. We hope you like this one, and remember, stay tuned until the end for some awesome resources. All right, and we are live. Ed, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Hey, thanks so much. It's awesome being here. I can't wait to find out what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just glad you're here. So, Ed, we like to kick off these shows learning about your backstory, how you got into this crazy world of professional speaking, and more importantly, how you got into the crazy world of associations. What led you down that path, and how did you get where you are today?
Absolutely. Thanks, Taylor. Appreciate the question. We got to go way back to my days selling sunglasses. And even going back before that, up in Yosemite National Park, my last assignment there was I was the manager of the ski shop at Badger Pass. And I got fired at the end of the season for being obnoxious. Couldn't imagine that happened to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the guy that was my sunglass supplier, he had been talking to me all winter about wanting me to come to work for him. And he caught me right before I left. I go, yeah, no, man, no, I don't want to do that. And I don't want to go up to San Francisco. No, we got a spot down in Orange County. And because I was going to go back to Southern California, where I'm from. So I took the job, and it was awesome. They gave me the first day, they gave me a gas card and a 1972 Ford LTD 2-door with a 400 cubic inch engine. It only took me and my buddies about a couple hours to go through that tank of gas. And so then I was off on selling sunglasses. And, they specialized in drugstores, but I came from the ski world. So I loved selling ski glasses to ski shops. So I put a lot more energy there. And then one of the things that I noticed watching the guys that are the ski reps, they would do product clinics. And I had some upper end glasses to compete with back then, Varney, but we didn't advertise or anything. So I bought a spectrometer, which would test the UV blocking, the IR blocking, the light transmission. And I would start doing these product clinics and telling people, I never badmouth any of my competitors, just go, hey, if you want good eye protection, here, let me show you. And my sales would jump. And so that was in the, somewhere in the 70s, late 70s. And in the early 80s, they'd come to me and say, hey, can you teach all of our salespeople to do these product clinics? Okay. And so all of a sudden I became a sales trainer without even knowing what that was. And then I started having some of my customers asking me to, help their retail people with sales. And then in 1984, I met Patricia Fripp. She came to one of our sales meetings. Now, full disclosure, before Patricia Fripp, all the speakers they had at our meetings, I really thought were horses' asses. But that was just my opinion. And Patricia was amazing. I mean, I finally see the speaker. She had something cool to say. She did it really well. And she just had so much energy and enthusiasm. And like, I was bitten with the bug. And so I'd been doing speaking, but in a different way. And I got bitten with the bug. Then over time, it was 6 years later, 1990, at that point, I had given up my manufacturer's representative agreement, became vice president of the company, and the owner, the president, didn't like it that I went to the Atlanta NSA convention without telling him, so he fired me. Got fired again. I'm always getting fired, and I can't keep a job. And so, I talked to my wife and I said, I always want to do the speaking thing. I've been doing it, on and off, and I really wasn't quite ready, but it's kind of a now or never thing. And she goes, it scared the crap out of her. And she was pregnant with our second kid.
Wow.
So, I get fired in August, and our second kid is born in October. But it was just like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. And so how I really got into the association thing, that year I'd been hired by Action Sports Retailer to write a series of 3 articles about, retail sales. And so I just took those articles, photocopy, and I would call up association editors and say, hey, I've got these articles. Would you like to run them? Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Hey, who books your speakers? John Doe, or every once in a while I'd be lucky and they say, well, me. And I go, oh, even better. Let's talk some more. And so that's really how I got my start. When I brought out my book, The Art of Partnering, and my other book, Partner Shift, that took me down a little bit to do a little bit of the corporate work, which was okay. But I've always just really loved associations. And then in 2000, I came up, just dumb luck on my part, I created a qualitative research methodology when I didn't even know what qualitative research was. And yeah.
At least you're honest, Ed.
Dumb luck. So basically what it was is I was doing a keynote on partnering for a California Alarm Association. And Jerry Lenanda, their executive director, says, hey, can you do us a favor and do after your keynote, do a workshop? Yeah, sure, fine. Happy to do it for you. And, when I do, they want an industry roundtable type thing. So when I do industry roundtable type things, I put up a flip chart and ask everybody, okay, what's on your mind? Write all the stuff down. And then we vote on it in the top 2, 3, whatever we talk about. Well, it turned out that day, there's a lot of board members there, and they really want to talk about the value of membership in the association. So I'm just asking questions, writing stuff down, asking questions, and I'm just in the flow, and not really with any plan, just in the flow. And at the end of the session, I'm looking at all of these flip charts all over the place and everything. And I'm going, crap, I think I got something here. So I took them all home with me. And when I get back after their conference over, I called Jerry and said, hey, Jerry, that session you asked me to do, I actually know what the value of membership is from your members' perspective on membership, the value of the yearly value ship of your membership. Would you like me to write an article for your magazine? He goes, God, I love it. So that first article in the year 2000 took me down a path of teaching associations how to measure ROI in actual dollar numbers. Took me down a path of doing, all of a sudden I went from being a speaker on partnering to starting to also be a speaker on association governance, association membership, association growth, and all that. And then the book over my shoulder, no, wrong shoulder, this shoulder here, no, this shoulder here, over there.
One of them.
This is a podcast, so they can't even see the video. But anyway, the ROI of membership. And it's a book that just teaches associations how to do that. So, and then because of the fact, oh, you're going to love this. Because of the fact that I'm the executive director of the Cigar Peg, and the Cigar Peg pays me a small stipend to be the executive director, that allowed me to join American Society of Association Executives. Are you ready for this? As a CEO member. And then I find out that I can go sit a few years later, I can go sit for the CAE test, the Certified Association Executive Test. I take the course, I sit for the test, I pass it. I'm pretty good at taking tests. That was all my years as a soccer referee, having to take tests every week. And all of a sudden IR one, so now having the CAE, Certified Association Executive Credential, it puts me on par with those folks. And so, when I talk to them, when I have these various things, and we can talk later about some of the things I'm doing with associations right now, but I have the, the National Speakers Association Executive Director, Mary Lou, love her to death. She doesn't even have the CAE yet. Mm-hmm. So, it kind of put me in a good place. And I've just been, going down that same old great path. So
Wow.
That is
What a
incredible.
story.
there it is. Here I am. 30 years later, I'm still kicking at it.
I love it. So like from sunglass salesperson, from ski employee, ski shop employee to sunglass
manager.
salesperson
Yeah.
to sunglass sales trainer almost to partnership expert to association membership expert. Is that the progression I just heard?
Well, you forgot the part when I was about 17 and I worked for a dime store in Westminster, California. I cleaned the toilets. That was
Okay. I mean, that's, I would say that's probably on the ranking somewhere there.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Wow, what a journey. That's so crazy. Yeah, I love that. Thanks for sharing, Ed. So, I mean, yeah, you're focused on associations at this point. I think that's sort of the reputation that you've developed, which is awesome. I think that a lot of people are very curious about the association world, but either don't know where to start, or I think sometimes they have misconceptions about what the association world really looks like. So do you think that you could identify and address some of those potential misconceptions people have about working with associations?
Yeah, I can. And with your permission, I'm just going to mention one of my product services.
Of course.
And we can talk about how to get it later, but it's called the 30-day challenge, 30-day selling to associations challenge. I would say anybody go do that. It's $2 a day. It's cheap. But so what that does, it teaches people about associations and gives them an assignment every day. But backing up, so what's going on with the associations? Okay, right now, I've been running for almost a year an association CEO group. And so these are the chief staff executives, whether they're a CEO or executive director. And every Tuesday on Zoom, we get together, and they pay to be part of this. And I put up various questions that I find in the ASAE, postings and stuff. And I use on Zoom, use a poll, and they choose what they're gonna from 4 or 5 questions, what they're gonna talk about that day, and we get into it. And so one of the things that just keeps reoccurring, as you would guess, is right now where we are today with the need for associations to have to move a lot of their meetings from live to virtual. And the challenge also with these associations trying to do hybrid meetings is that we don't really think much about it, but if they do a hybrid meeting, that means they have to pay for the live meeting, the venue, and if they're streaming, they have to pay for the platform. So now it's costing them twice as much. So a lot of associations this year through Q1, Q2, just about all of them are saying we're going virtual. We can't, it just financially doesn't work. So for the first half of this year, pretty much, there'll be a few small meetings here and there, pretty much all are virtual. But that's okay, because I just recorded a session this morning with association executives on what they're paying speakers right now. And, they're still paying, they're talking about wanting to pay less for virtual, but they're still paying a fair amount. And so, the range is I'd say there's still a lot of speakers getting, even virtual, getting keynotes for $5 to $10 grand. Sure. And and that's pretty cool. You just sit home and do it. So it's where they're looking at is going, okay, we've got, some of them had a little bit of a member loss because, whatever business was impacted, they're losing members. So they're trying to figure out how to be relevant. They're trying to make their meetings work. And also, just a little data point, trade associations in general, in the 1950s, 1960s, 95% of their budget was membership dues. Today, trade associations, about 40% of their budget is membership dues, and professional societies, about 30% of their budget is membership dues. So what that means is these association executives are out going crazy trying to find non-dues revenue. And the meetings are non-dues revenue. The sponsorships, non-dues revenue. And the big problem right now, if any speaker's got a solution to this, hey, I think you can make some money, is that for these meetings, the vendors are not enjoying doing these virtual expos because it's not working for them because they don't know how to do it. And so a number of the association people for this year said, well, we're just going to move away to just sponsorships. But there's a big discussion with my group. We had a huge discussion a week ago on this. How do we provide value for our vendors? So, for us as speakers, because we're a service provider to these association people, that there's clearly business for us. Clearly, they know they have to bring keynoters in. They know they have to bring professionals, because one of the guys today I was recording another session for a conversation with association executives who hire professional speakers. And he said, we tried it with non-fee, with free speakers, and they're boring. People don't like it. So for the people that are probably, listening in here, this should get everybody up and excited and ready to go and get on the phone. That it's like, yes, they're hiring speakers for breakouts and concurrent. Yes, they're hiring speakers for keynotes. The first half of the year, most of it's going to be virtual. The second half of the year, there may be some hybrid, there may be some live, and I guarantee you there will be some virtual. So, we all need to figure out what we're going to do. So that's kind of what's going on in a nutshell.
Wow, that's really fascinating.
Valuable insights.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Ed. I'm curious. We actually had this question in queue, but I think you may have already answered this. But sometimes we hear from like speakers that one of their big hesitations with even reaching out to more associations or working with more associations is that sometimes they're looking for free speakers, or the speaker doesn't happen to position themselves in the market correctly to get paid the fee that they're looking for from the association. But from what you just said, it sounds like associations know that bringing in paid speakers is better for their members across the board. Would you say that's a good generalization to follow for all associations?
Yeah, here's the thing. Just today, the session I was recording, one of the association CEOs, that talked about that fact that, we've got to hire people because, if we put on crummy programming for our members, they're not going to come to our meetings. Mm-hmm. So we have to hire them. But also, they said, the consensus in today's call was, okay, we don't want speakers calling and bugging us. But what we do want is speakers to communicate with us. And a number of them said, email's fine. That here's what I do. Here's my positioning strategy. Here's how what I do can help your association of whatever. Oil well diggers or podiatrists, whatever. And I think a lot of speakers, and I'm going to go back a little bit. I've spent a lot of years around the country doing my selling to associations intensives, and I've spent a lot of years speaking to most of the NSA chapters and a good amount of the Canadian CAPS chapters and other speaker societies around the world. And here's the thing that I've really come to learn. So many speakers do such a crappy job of positioning themselves. Amen. They want to. These people go, oh, I'm going to save the world. Oh, I was with my husband, all through his death, and I'm going to go make people better. And I just said, nobody's going to pay for that. So, what is it you do? Mm-hmm. And getting people to understand association meetings, their conferences have basic content slides. Hmm. Yeah, there's the keynotes, which can be a little bit broader from entertainment to high content. But, if you're going to do the workshops, the pre-post, the breakouts, which they all pay decent money, that you've got to be able to articulate which pigeonhole. Nobody likes this, but which pigeonhole. We put you in the sales pigeonhole, the leadership pigeonhole, the social media marketing pigeonhole. Do we put you in the supervision pigeonhole? Do we put you in the PR pigeonhole? Do we put you in the marketing pigeonhole? And so forth and so on. Yeah. And unless a speaker can understand that there's categories and so, okay, as an example, somebody might say, the category I'm best known for is leadership. How I'm unique in the leadership category is I, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. and explain to the value that you bring to the speaker. Well, these people are interested in that. And they also, all of them today, on today's call, which was different than 2 weeks ago's call, all of them said, if you don't have good up-to-date video, and one of the CEOs said, good up-to-date means you could have just shot it on your iPhone yesterday. That's okay. But he said, so many of these speakers are wanting 15 grand for a keynote and their videos from the 1980s.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're not going to hire you. So I think that's the key. There's money there for the speakers that know how to position themselves and communicate their positioning strategy and how they create value for the association and its members within that market or in that category.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes intuitive sense, right? People buy solutions, not entertainment, especially in today's world. Have you seen that increase in importance as COVID has come along? Do you think that there's an increased, interest in having really updated new video, let's say, or is messaging more important now than it was before? I'm just curious if COVID's had any effect.
The thing is, if you, like, for instance, the NSA speakers that went on e-speakers and got the, what's it called? Certified virtual
certification.
Okay. Yes. Whatever it's called. IR one. Yeah, I spent my money. Anyway, if you're going to do that, well, then you really need to have a pretty cool video of you doing a virtual presentation on your website, or at least make it available. I think what's going on is here, the members, let's just talk about the members of a lot of these associations. They're going stir crazy. So a year and a half ago, some of the soft topics about woo-woo, feel better about yourself and all that, we're losing favor. I can't tell you how many association execs have told me that's the kind of stuff our people are asking for right now, because they're locked up at home. They're going stir crazy. We all know suicide rates are way up. And so, but the people that do that kind of content to help people be, have some kind of a life balance, to feel better about themselves, a lot of people are really asking for that. But that doesn't mean that the people with high content that teach people how to do things aren't also very important. So there's that ebb and flow. Like 5 years ago, a lot of the humorists were really, really, really popular, and then a lot of their popularity kind of, not that they're bad or anything, but just kind of it kind of waned, and some of the soft skills kind of waned. But right now, I think the soft skills are going to be very important. So anybody that's listening to this, if you, I lovingly refer to you as woo-woo. If you if you do some, I know whether you got science behind it or not, I don't care. But I mean, if you've got stuff to help people balance themselves, feel better about themselves, be calm, those kinds of things, this year you can do really well.
Yeah, that's a good distinction to make. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
I want to call back to something you said a couple of minutes ago too. And like this next question is really just about like how people can position themselves if they're going to be seen in the best light by associations. But you pointed out what sounded like you helping associations pigeonhole you into a broad category and then giving them a reason as to why they're distinctive or they're the best one for that pigeonhole.
That category.
Did I capture that correctly? Is that a good way to start the conversation?
Yeah, no, that's it. And, like I said, I can't tell you all the years of doing my selling to associations intensive. I mean, this year I'm not doing any of the live ones, but, so many people had that problem. They just didn't understand that people aren't buying, as an example, if you speak on the life and times of Gertrude Stein, how many people are going to hire you? Not many. Mm-hmm. But if you teach things around resilience, people are going to hire you. So it's understanding how to shift what you do to where it fits there. And I hate to call it a pigeonhole, but that's what it is, to fit into their pigeonhole so they can understand where to put you on the program. And then beyond that, you have to sell your value on why you're so much better, different, quote, quote, more better than all your competitors. But yeah, you got it.
It's simple.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, they don't want fluff, they just want to know, what do you do? How can you help us navigate whatever times we're in and make it as concise and easy to understand as possible. And the right positioning and the right mix of not being too fluffy, and you've got yourself some business. So
Yes.
thanks for sharing all that, Ed. Now, we would be remiss not to ask this question. I mean, we've been to a number of cigar peg gatherings at this point. So why do you call it philanthropy through fun?
Thanks for asking about the cigar peg. I and a friend, Grant Doyle, started the cigar peg back in 1999, just kind of as a joke. And it kind of evolved. And then, somewhere around 2005, my accountant told me, he says, yeah, you can't be doing this through your business anymore. You got to start a charity. So in 2006, old high school buddy, we were in DeMolay together, youth group sponsored by the Masonic Lodge. He's a lawyer. We were in Los Angeles buying some suits, eating at a greasy Mexican restaurant. I told him about it. And he goes, give me a box of cigars. I'll set it up for you. And so, we became a charity, legal IRS recognized charity in 2006. So yes, I can write you a letter of donation if you give me money. What we found at the National Speakers Association back then, there was just a big hole. And what the big hole was, the Speakers Association we used to joke about it being called the Southern Baptist Speakers Association, because so many of the people in leadership and in power, you were very religious right, and nothing wrong with being religious right, but it was so much. You go to the meetings every year and you think you're going to church. But we created just something fun. And NSA used to have something every night. And then to save money, in 1998, they stopped having a Monday night activity, saying, we did this so you can network. No, BS. You just wanted to save some money. Yeah. And a bunch of us were talking about, well, they would have told us we would put something together. So the next year, I got Ed Robinson. It was in San Antonio. Got him to help me find a place, and we put on a great party. It was a lot of fun. So we got a tequila sponsor, and they gave us 6 dozen of their shirts. And if you bought the shirt from us for $15, you got 20% off on your dinner. But when we went into the party, into the bar, you got the tequila was the Hornitas, and either it was $2 for shots, mixed, blended, any tequila drink was $2. And so you can imagine how blitzed we all were at the end of that one. And it just kind of, it grew and grew, and different people wanted to help. And I think that, it's like everybody has their buying motive. And some people really like to come to the Cigar Peg because it's fun. Some people like to come to the Cigar Peg just because it's a great deal. I mean, you can't drink in the bar as cheap as you can join Cigar Peg and drink for free. Really. I mean, some people really care about the philanthropy that we do, a lot of the money that we put into the NSA Foundation. So everybody's got their different reasons, but we try to keep it a lot of fun, and we created an environment, the nightly suite at the convention. You guys have been there, and the party. We try to make it a place where everybody can get together, they can network, they can be real. They don't have to put on this stupid plastic mask of IB speaker. I do 5,000 speeches a week, and it's all that crazy stuff. And it's just real. And we get people that like you guys have donated and made your service available, and people like you that maybe want to get a little exposure in front of some speakers. Donate things, we auction it, we make some money, we give it away. And it's let's see, 99, 22nd year, whatever it is. I lose track of things. It's my Alzheimer's. But it's been a fun ride. It really has been a fun ride. And for me, when I'm in the suite and I see you guys and others just having a great old time, it's like, yeah. And like when we have our big party, and everybody having a great time and making some money. Yeah. And then at the end of the year, when I write the checks to the charities we support, yeah, it just feels good, so it's been a great ride. It's been a great ride.
Yeah. What more can you ask for in life? Just more of that. That's really cool, Ed. Thank you for all you do and all the support you give to everyone in the NSA world, the association world. This has been a phenomenal episode, just being able to pick your brain and learn more about what's going on the association side. So thanks so much for sharing that with us. And as you know, we're all about creating value for our audience. So what are some of the things that you're working on that our listeners can benefit from?
Yeah, I mean, the coolest thing that I'm just having a lot of fun with is this. I don't know if it's going to be a video series, workshop series, or what. I'm still figuring out. But it's a conversation with association executives who hire speakers. And I'm making this, and this is going to go into my library for speakers that are in my roundtable, which they have to pay to be part of. But here's what's been really fun. You guys know I've done the selling to associations intensives for years. Well, last year and this year, Aiden Crawford's helped me. We're putting it all online. So now at sellingtoassociations.com, I've got a 30-day challenge, which, without breaking my arm, patting myself on the back, it's pretty gosh darn good. At least that's what people have been telling me. And that, a little something to do every day for 30 days. And if you do that, you're going to have a really good understanding of associations, and you're going to be on your way. And it's $59. It's $2 a day. And so I've got that. And then I've got, we built from live video, my selling to associations intensive into an online course. And I keep putting new modules in there. So that's awesome. Then I've got a roundtable. Do you want me to tell you what these things cost, or just let people go find it for themselves?
Whatever's comfortable
okay,
for you.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So $59 for the challenge. $11.99 to be in the roundtable, and then we've got an elite advisory, which is $42.99, and then we got something way more expensive than that, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. And it's ways to help speakers. I found some ways that during this pandemic, I love doing my intensives in Las Vegas. I love the party, and I love being with everybody. I love the cigars in the evening, and just love it. But we can't do that right now. So, Aiden Crawford's helped me, and we found a way. We've been partnering on this, and we found a way to put up some really cool courses that'll help speakers and making them very timely, and so it's all available. Just sellingtoassociations.com, 2TO, not the number 2. So sellingtoassociations.com. And, you can go look at all the stuff. And if you want to buy stuff from me, that'd be awesome. Happy to take your money. Happy. That's been a lot of fun. And probably it's not ready for prime time yet, but I'm working on, and I just started this week, I'm working on Ed's little blue book life plan or life roadmap or life guide. I forgot exactly. But, I went back for the last 30 years of speaking. You know how you keep telling stories and stories? And I looked at it. What are the core truths? And I'm at 11 right now. And so probably in the next couple of weeks, I'll shoot the video. So I'm going to shoot a video and then take the transcription, make it a small book, and who knows where it'll go. But it's a project that I just started on just for fun, but not only for fun, because we all know that when the pandemic is done, we better be ready and positioned to grab that business. And things like Life's Little Playbook are things that people are going to want to hear about. And so I'm doing it for fun, but I'm also doing it with the longer game, knowing that, January 2022, they're going to be doing a lot more looking for live speakers. And even though they know me as the member recruitment guy, hey, I want to do some other stuff also just for fun.
Yeah,
so those are my projects.
All right. Well, we will put all of those links in the show notes. We have firsthand experience of how awesome that 30-day challenge is. A lot of our clients have partaken in it and have seen awesome results. So we'll make sure that's all in the show notes. And hey, if you found this episode valuable, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to it. And if you want more awesome resources like this, go to speakerflow.com/resources. Thank you so much for chiming in. I just wanted to take a second to thank our sponsor, Auxbus. Auxbus is the all-in-one suite of tools you you need to run your podcast. And it's actually what we run here at SpeakerFlow for Technically Speaking. It makes planning podcasts simple. It makes recording podcasts simple. It even makes publishing podcasts to the masses simple. And quite honestly, Technically Speaking wouldn't be up as soon as it is without Auxbus. Thank you so much, Auxbus. And if you are interested in checking Auxbus out, whether you're starting a podcast or you have one currently, get our special offer, auxbus.com/speakerflow, or click the link below in our show notes.
Thanks for tuning in today. Check the show notes for more info and see you next time. Later.